Hello everyone and welcome to week 11 of English 120. This week we're going to continue to work on our research project and we're going to continue to read The Valley of the Moon books. We're going to be reading book 2, chapters 6 through 12, and these are some really exciting chapters, you guys. This week you'll also be developing your own discussion questions about these chapters, and you'll begin developing your position statement on your research projects. You'll complete your research prospectus by the end of the week, and your comp class this week is called Avoid Plagiarism. As I mentioned, you're at the next stage in your research project. This is where you're going to be developing a research prospectus that will include a topic history. A research prospectus is much more in-depth. It's a much more in-depth analysis of where you're at in your research project. It helps you develop what will eventually become the introduction of your paper, and that is the history. Um, sorry, that's the history of the topic that you're working on. Basically, as you remember from the argumentative paper, it's the conversation that you're going to be joining. So let's take a look at what's required of your research prospectus. It needs to be in MLA format, and it needs to be at least 2 to 3 pages long. You need to upload it as a Word document in the assignments folder. And in that document, you'll need to answer all of the following questions. What is the working title of your study? What is the history of your topic? And this part of your research prospectus should be at least 1 to 2 paragraphs long that really goes into depth about the history of your topic. Who's been talking about this topic in your field? What have they been saying? How long have people been talking about it? Why is it important? Then I'd like you to include the 3 focused research questions that you've narrowed down to that will help you guide your search as you begin your research. Then I'd like you to talk about what steps you've taken so far to begin your search. This means before you create your research prospectus, you should plan time to go to the library. Just Googling your topic isn't going to get you the information that you need. The reason why we're in a research class is because I want you to do research. And you will be going to the library this week in order to find valuable sources to begin to look at for your research project. You also want to talk about how you plan to do this researching of your topic, the types of sources that you intend to collect. So that means you should do some initial searches in the SNAP catalog at Napa Valley College Library. The names of some of the sources you've already consulted. You'll also want to do a search in the articles and databases. Find some good databases to research based on your topic. If you have questions about which databases would be most appropriate, there's always great librarians available in the library, and I'm also available for your help if you want to come by my office hours on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday this week. Then you want to talk about, so once you do find some sources, you need to list them, and please list them in MLA format. If you have questions about that, remember, look at Chapter 21 of the Bedford Researcher. And write down the types of search tools you're going to be using. Are you going to be browsing library shelves, consulting librarians, talking to your professor in office hours, conducting surveys, and what research methods you'll use, such as simple and advanced database searches or simple and advanced Google searches. All of this is due on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. All right, for your discussion forum, we're going to be focusing on these chapters that we're reading in the Valley of the Moon. Now, I'll be posting some extra questions in the discussion forum later this week, but first, I'd like you guys to ask the questions. There's a lot of really important things that happen, including a riot in the pages you're going to be reading for this week. And so for each chapter that you read, in chapters 6 through 12 of book 2, I want you to develop 3 questions for a total of 21 questions. You're going to be graded on how well you develop critical questions about the text. So please make sure you are really asking questions that, uh, they can be questions about the definitions of words you don't know. They can be questions about um, what's happening to the characters in the text. They can be questions like, for example, in the riot scene, it's a child that begins the conflict between the people that lead to a really, really destructive riot. So what does it mean that it's a child that throws the first stone? That's one of my favorite questions to ask in this section. So what I want you to do is to only write down the questions. You don't have to answer them. But then, once you've posted your initial post by Wednesday, right, I'd like you to answer um, the questions of at least 3 of your peers using evidence from the text to support what you're saying. So after you've posted your post, you're going to go back and you're going to respond to the questions of 3 peers. All right, for your active reading journal this week, I'd like you to look at pages 61 through 65 in the Bedford Researcher. You're going to be answering the questions in the green box at the top of page 65 that will help you develop your position statement. Finally, in comp class, I'd like you to complete Respect Academic Ethics. Next week, we're going to be reading to the end of Book 2 of The Valley of the Moon, for those of you who like to read ahead. You're also going to be completing integration of sources in comp class, and you're going to start working on your annotated bibliography. More details about that next week. All right, I hope you're having a good week. As always, if you have any questions, please come see me in my office hours or shoot me an email. I look forward to seeing you online.